So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's overview of the Vollara business and the Active Pure opportunity. My good friend of over 40 years, Michael, and his wife, Jenny, helped make this presentation more pretty, and they put some quotes by Mark Cuban in there. Mark said, if there's ever been a time, if there's ever been a benefit from a pandemic, it's hard to believe that there could be one, it's that there will be people that have a new vision for the future. We get really creative when our circumstances change. He calls it America 2.0. It's a new world today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you my COVID story at the end of this call. He said, I think this is a phenomenal time to create a new opportunity in business. There never is a better time than right now. This is your partner. This is my partner. I talked to Mr. Ursel several times this week. I talked to Mr. Coyle sometimes several times a day. But our company is called Eris Holdings. Our independent company is called Vollara, and it's a part of the family of companies. We're the 39th largest company in the world that sells directly to consumers through a network of independent business people. I love this picture right here. I used to live in Greenville, Tennessee. I lived there for 20 years. I've been to this plant, as has Mr. Robia Turner, probably 100 times or more. That's a 500,000 square foot manufacturing facility. Every single product, every one that is manufactured or made goes through this plant with our American workers in one way or the other. Sometimes it's partial built, sometimes it's all the way built, but everything goes through there. We're at the right place, folks, at the right time. The Battelle organization is one of the most prestigious organizations in the world. I was told at one time they had up to 20,000 PhDs and scientists around the world. And they kind of predict the future of business, the future of trends, the future of health. And they say that the number one trend, this is just a little while ago, is providing indoor healthy air for people to breathe. Number 8 is the management of dust mites. And number 10 is protection of germs, surfaces from germs. When I first heard that, I didn't really even believe that was possible. But look how it's come our way. Look how it's moved into our wheelhouse here. So the star of our show is Active Pure. Active Pure is available in a whole host of different technologies, but this is the main star right here. And what you're going to see throughout this brief presentation, guest, in this brief presentation, independent business owners, is that this technology is an answer for the crisis that we are dealing with today. You talk about viruses. We've never tested a virus. I've been around this for a long time. I was overseeing this company as the owner when Active Pure was invented. There has never been a virus that we tested on that it didn't do complete destruction down to not detectable. Yeah, the COVID-19 tests are being done right now, the FDA stuff, all that cool stuff. It destroys things like dust mites and pollen and VOCs and mold spores, all kinds of stuff. So we'll learn about this technology as we go on. Now, for time's sake, I'm going to skip the video tonight, but we've got a 2-minute video and a 4.5-minute video that will help you understand. Ask the person that invited you. I want to see that video because it's in living color and it tells the story. Now, Active Pure will give you a clean like never before. It will give you a clean like you have not ever experienced. We call it a super deep clean. We're talking about getting things clean to 99.999 and even one more 9%. We're talking about technology that was first developed in outer space. You can learn more about our Hall of Fame status with the NASA Certified Space Technology Organization. You can learn how this technology was made originally to protect the International Space Station. But how cool is it that we have it? Our company has it. Oh yeah, there's a lot of copycats. They'll say things like NASA, but no other company will ever be certified space technology with the NASA Space Foundation. Nobody else will ever be in the Certified Space NASA Hall of Fame. No company. They can say what they want. They even use our studies and say they're theirs. It's not true. Now, there's two types of technologies that you can use to have a healthy, cleaner home, cleaner office, cleaner automobile, cleaner anywhere. One is traditional passive technologies, things like HEPA, things like UVC light. None of those things can even come close to what Active Pure does. And there's a reason for that. These passive technologies, Robia, require the contaminant to somehow get to that HEPA filter or somehow get to that UVC light. And in UVC light, it has to be very close to it, like within a half an inch for several seconds. Those things don't work. I always say it's like the mailman going down the street at 100 miles an hour. You'll hit a mailbox now and then. These purification, these filtration systems will get something now and then. And that's what they claim. Whatever gets to it, it kills it by 100% or it filters it by 100%. But hardly anything ever gets to it. Our technology is proactive. That's what we call it, Active Pure. It's derived from NASA. It's the space technology we talked about. It neutralizes, it kills, it destroys, it inactivates. All the studies, somebody said to me today, how can I know that these studies are real? I said, when you take a medicine that the doctor recommends, you trust the studies. When you buy an automobile that has been tested and evaluated, you have to have a certain amount of trust. Well, our studies are what's called peer-reviewed, published, gold standard studies. They are done at the highest level at universities and government. You'll learn about that as we go along. But what you're seeing here is this technology works on from 500 to 3,000 square feet. It scrubs your air. Depending on how you use it, it's completely ozone free. We have some technologies that have ozone that are used for non-occupied spaces. Where is it being used? Here's the question that's going to be going to us before long. Where is it not being used? Because we're just at the tip of the iceberg, but it's taken off like a rocket ship. And we're getting these multiples of growth. Well, when you grow a company 600% in just a few months, grow at 600% again, Robia. Grow at 600% again, Tom DeMeo. Watch what happens. We start to become a very powerful force. You grow at another 600%, you're talking about one of the largest companies in the world in our industry. So we are making our move. This is the time that we've been waiting for. This is the opportunity, the chance we've been searching for. Now let's do a quick, just real quick overview. We're talking about RNA viruses. When you talk about coronavirus, you're talking about RNA viruses. And as you can see, we're talking about in literally, see, people say, well, in 30 minutes, we get 99.39s. What happens in 1 minute? 90%. This thing works fast, it works effective. But in an hour, we're talking 6 log kill, 99.49s. Hey, just yesterday, I was in a room and I found out that somebody in that room had COVID-19. You know what? We all got tested. We're all fine. But here's the interesting thing. Our technology was running. And that was kind of a scary wake-up call. I'm not saying that saved me. I'm simply saying it's a fact. This is DNA viruses. Same thing, 99.993% in 60 minutes. You can look at what these different viruses do, and they're not good. This is Staphylococcus. When my son got in a Harley-Davidson accident, they shooed him with a skull fracture out of the hospital because they were having a rash of staph infections. This technology, look what it does. In 30 minutes, we're talking about 99.99% or 4 log kill. In an hour, it's even better. These are powerful things, ladies and gentlemen, because they're not just air, they're also hard surfaces in the business, in the home, in the environment. This is another bacteria. Some of these words are hard to even understand, but you can see anything, let me just go back and say anything we've ever tested this technology on, it's worked. Well, things like mold. I'm at my brother Doug's house right now, and he had a multi-million-dollar home that got infected with mold in the walls. And they had to tear the outside of the walls off because it was causing all kinds of illness and problems. This technology, look what it does with mold. 30 minutes, 60 minutes. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. MRSA, that's a tough one. It's resistant to antibiotics. You can see the tremendous, I mean, what if this was in hospital rooms? What if this was in clinics where these nosocomial infections are transmitted? Are you starting to see the picture? Today, I got a conversation with a presidential appointee that's in charge of searching out technologies that will help with these problems that we're having. They found us and they said, we need to learn about this technology. I'll update you as time goes on. So this particular one, and then we'll move on to the business side, is not about ActivePure. This is about our pulse ionization technology and how it takes particles out of the air. And you can see what it's doing is it takes particles out of the air 200 times faster than natural gravity or the natural deposition rate. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to, in fact, probably next week, I'm going to show you a video that will stun you, because I'm in the process right now of doing these tests myself. I've got the technology equipment, and I'm going to do it in my home and in my office, and I'm going to show you firsthand what this technology does. This is a hotel room. Can you imagine the television remote in a hotel room? I'm actually getting a television remote from a hotel room, and I'm going to test it before, and I'm going to test it after, and I'm going to put a presentation together where you can actually see me doing it. So a lot of cool stuff that we have to offer, professional sports teams. But ladies and gentlemen, you're here tonight because you want to, the questions I asked you, you want to see if that could be you. What if this was the night that changes everything forever? It changes your future forever. What if this was the night? Could you get really good at inviting people to see this? Could you make a commitment to yourself that quitting is not an option under any circumstance? Let's look at how we make money. This is our compensation plan. If you go into your back office, you'll see these charts. This is your personal group, okay? And up here is when you start developing managers. So I developed 3 managers in the last 90 days, first generation. And I developed 5 second generation and 10 third generation. I'm telling you that for a reason, because this is how we're paid. Okay, so let's take a look at the 3 different ways we make money.